Some killers escaped justice for decades. Some victims were nearly forgotten. But years later, these cold cases were finally solved. These are the 5 cold cases that took the longest to solve. They vanished after getting pizza, and it took 42 years to uncover what really happened. In 1975, sisters Catherine 10 and Sheila Lyon 12 disappeared while walking home from a shopping center in Maryland. A massive search followed, but no trace of the girls was ever found. Early on, a young man named Lloyd Lee Welch told police he saw them get into a car, but he failed a polygraph and the case went cold. Decades later, investigators took another look, and Welch became the focus again. He eventually admitted to abducting the sisters, and in 2017 he was convicted. But to this day, their bodies have never been found. It happened in seconds, and no one knew who did it for 46 years. Back in 1974, 17-year-old Carla Walker was sitting in a car with her boyfriend outside a bowling alley in Fort Worth, Texas. It was supposed to be a normal night until a man suddenly showed up at the window. He attacked without warning, beat her boyfriend unconscious, and then forced Carla out of the car and drove off into the night. A few days later, her body was found, and just like that, the case went cold. For decades, her family had no answers, no justice. Then, in 2020, DNA finally led investigators to Glenn McCurley, and in 2021, he confessed. After nearly half a century, Carla Walker finally got justice. He was just another man in the mall, until decades later his secret was exposed. In 1968, 23-year-old Diane Cusick went shoe shopping on Long Island, but she never made it home. That night, she was found murdered inside her own car in the mall parking lot. The case went cold for over 50 years. No suspect, no answers. Until 2022, when DNA finally linked the crime to Richard Cottingham, a known serial killer. He later confessed, bringing long-awaited answers to her family. After half a century, the truth finally came out. It took over 50 years, but a cold case finally revealed the truth. In 1974, 25-year-old Mary Schleiss was hitchhiking to Chicago for an art show when she was brutally murdered in Wisconsin. Her case went cold for decades, with investigators chasing leads that went nowhere. Then, DNA from a stocking cap found near her body changed everything. Using genetic genealogy, police identified John Miller, who had evaded detection for years, partly because he was adopted. When confronted with the evidence, Miller admitted he picked Mary up, attacked her after she refused him, and stabbed her more than a dozen times. Now, over 5 decades later, he's been sentenced to life in prison, proving justice never expires. It took nearly 60 years, but her killer was finally identified. In 1964, 9-year-old Maurice Chivarella left her home in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, on her way to school, never knowing she wouldn't make it. Hours later, her body was found in a coal pit. She had been assaulted and murdered. For decades, the case went cold, but years later, DNA from her jacket led investigators to a breakthrough. Using genetic genealogy, they traced a distant relative and built a family tree. That's when they identified James Paul Fort, who was 22 at the time. His body was exhumed, and in 2023, DNA confirmed the match. Fort died in 1980, but after nearly 60 years, Maurice's family finally has answers.